I don't know if you know this, but Halo also has a very large consumer support group. So they actually have a Facebook page that is a group page. It is completely consumer led. There happens to be some employees actually from Halo, but they do not run the page. They're just kind of there to help as participants, troubleshoot different issues. There's probably around 3,000 members to that group. And if you haven't checked it out, I'm going to tell you it's well worth your time. You're going to find a couple of things. So first thing, you're going to find some people who are just coming to look and decide whether or not Halo is right for them. I also wanted to share some really positive feedback that I found on this group. Here's one from user Erica. This is why I bought this collar, and she shows a great photo of her dog just relaxing on the deck. She says she can be outside all day if she wants. I still get up and check on her randomly, but that's still me getting used to it. It was a little bit of a bumpy start, but she loves being outside and loves her freedom. And I can tell you that's what I've found here at home. Sometimes it is not perfect. I have been very clear about that from the beginning when I started this well over a year ago. But I think my dog's quality of life is way better than it was before just being caught up on a lead. This was actually posted on the Halo user group as well. It was posted yesterday by a gentleman, and he's part of this Halo collar support group. Clearly probably came here to kind of identify if this was the collar for him or not. But his posting says, after seeing all the issues with the Halo collar, we've decided to put an in-ground wire fence. First, I really took it as kind of a negative comment, and then I realized, you know what? This guy just realized that this is not the right product for him, and that's okay. And what's really interesting is after that, there were 22 really positive comments about how much people love their Halo wireless fence. For example, Bobby writes, you can't take that fence to 20 other places. I love my Halo collar. So this is from Tyler. We love ours, and knock on wood, we've had zero issues with it. We don't even have to teach our dog the borders and new places anymore. He's just learned what the beeps mean. The main thing that sold me on Halo is that my dog can't get stuck on the wrong side of his fence, which is a common occurrence with in-ground options. I've had my struggles with the Halo collar, but I expected some. I'm using it on a smaller yard than it's really designed for. Kevin writes, I love my Halo. My dog gets to roam 5 acres at home, and I have 3 other geofences for my parents' places and brother's house. Nikki writes, we have 2 Halos and love them. Our 3 neighbors have been so impressed with what they have also purchased them as well. I was hesitant at first, but I am beyond pleased. Love mine too. This is by Kiki. Love mine too. Sorry you came to that conclusion. Tom writes, honestly, I personally believe it's all about the training. I'll be the first to say that the app training is beyond tiresome. YouTube, how to train for an electric fence. It's more or less the same thing, basically without the flags. Also, even though a dog learns fast, it doesn't create a synapse level response right away. That takes weeks of steady training, and I would absolutely agree with you, Tom. It's a bit arduous, but worth the time, and done right, even with the Halo annoyances, it's an amazing collar. And somebody else actually responds to him, and I have to agree with this person as well. Unfortunately, in addition, I've come to believe that the animal's temperament is also a major factor. 100%, you really do have to know your dog. We are really lucky our dog was an eager to please guy, and he hears the collar whistle and beelines to the front door. That's Vivi. You guys have seen her on camera, and she's kind of a lazy bag of bones a lot of the time. But she does also get distracted in kind of her golden kind of ditziness. Tom also posted a photo of his dog loving her freedom. Jackie writes, I somewhat agree. I did my own training because I had an underground fence for 10 years. I trained mine in the exact same way. I put long leads on them, pulled them back when it beeped, and after a few days, I let them get a vibration, then a progressive correction. My active pups, not pumps, do great with it. Lindsay writes, bummer, we had 0 issues, traveled with it, and absolutely loved the freedom it allowed our pup. We got our Halo 8 months ago. Fantastic. Ken Koda, thank goodness. I've been distraught wondering what we were going to do. Somebody writes, After seeing all these troubles with the collar and trying to return it, I've decided to return the dog instead. I have 2 collars and they have been great. I have had to replace them a time or 2, but my dogs have learned the boundaries and rarely get emergency feedback. They rarely even go beyond the boundary without the collar. It's been great. Rick, I'm hoping that you didn't return your dogs. Nora writes, 0 problems ever. Since I purchased the collar 5 months ago, we have 10 acres and love the collar, especially knowing she's where she is every second she is out. It's amazing because, and I will say on this feedback group, you will get negative comments, 100%. But I find more often than most, first of all, it's either somebody who hasn't tried the collar at all, or secondly, it's somebody who, again, struggles with those troubleshooting issues and all the various levels of technology. But what I love about this thread that somebody wrote up in the Halo Support Collar group is somebody who did not try the collar at all. Again, it wasn't the right fit for them, and that's okay. But then I just love seeing the positive feedback from other users that are out here. So Kathy even writes, Halo has been wonderful for us. Couldn't do a fence around 16 acres. Bobby writes, you can't take that fence to 20 other places, and I love my Halo collar. Rachel, she's actually the admin of this group. She says, I just love seeing the positive comments about everyone loving their collars. Every single piece of technology, no matter what you have, is going to have its growing pains. And every time they release a new app, what's called a sprint or a new release of something, which is also known as in technology terms as a sprint, right? They identify what their long end is, and then they sprint to the finish, and then they release it. They are dealing with hundreds of pieces of feedback, and you get to see the growing pains here. So if you happen to chime into this Facebook group and kind of read through it, I want you to kind of keep that in mind as you're taking a look at some of the feedback. Think about who that person is. Was it the right fit for them? What are they struggling with? Have they reached out to support? Have they really utilized all the tools that have been kind of available to them? If you've seen anything on this channel that you found helpful, please like and subscribe. It's super helpful. It motivates me, and I love hearing people's feedback and questions. And I'm going to try and produce more videos around what those feedback and questions are to really help users out feel comfortable with this device. Again, if you think this isn't the right device for you, don't order it. Go ahead with a traditional system. They probably cost about twice as much. But if that's what you feel like is a better fit for you, do it. It's right for you. All right. Peace out.